Oh, take it away.
All right.
Hi there. It's great to be here. My name is Paul Kohler, and at Cisco, I'm responsible for SD-WAN Technology Alliance Partnerships, and I work very closely with Live Action. I came over from the Viptela acquisition pretty recently. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of SD-WAN and then also how we have a very strong joint solution with Live Action. So this will be quick and to the point. So first off, we have many customers in all the main verticals. This is just some examples, but it lets you know that basically we're very much targeted at the enterprise. The product itself, the solution itself was designed, architected with the enterprise in mind right from the get-go. Also, we are porting our solution over to iOS XE, and so we'll have support for ISRs, ASRs, CSRs in the very near future in the July and November releases. In the bigger context, you have your legacy WAN architecture that's very common for enterprise networks. We have 2 or more circuits. All those circuits are MPLS or a combination of MPLS and Internet and active standby. Maybe some of the WAN links are not even being used. They're just there for standby. And then finally, the Internet traffic is backhauled to the data center. And so that was the context that the SD-WAN solution helps address. So there are a number of different benefits from the solution. So transport independent WAN fabric. So every transport WAN link is treated the same. So we have IPsec running over all of it, and we don't prefer any particular WAN link, like if it's MPLS, you name it. Everything has equal priority. I'll go into some more detail on that. Secondly, it's cloud delivered. So you may have heard Chuck Robbins, the CEO, talk about the importance of a subscription-based license model. The company itself, Cisco, is going away from that appliance-based pricing model and licensing model to a cloud-based subscription model, right? And so Viptela always had that model from the get-go, so that was one of the reasons why the company bought us in the first place. And then also we have security architecture. So your certificates are automatically updated and managed for you. You don't have to actually set up each individual IPsec connection and then also manage the certificates like you do traditionally. So it's all done for you and seamlessly. Application QoE, it's WAN optimization basically in a nutshell. Endpoint flexibility, so we support a whole variety of different appliances and also virtual appliances, and I'll go into that in a little more detail. And then finally, cloud on-ramp. There's a big cloud component to this that I'll talk about in a second. So in a nutshell, the solution, in a traditional router solution, you have the control plane and data plane are unified within the same block, within the same unit. And so the control plane, each individual router has its own configuration and control plane, which can make things very complicated when a customer is trying to migrate or make changes to their network, because there's a ripple effect. If you make changes here, then it affects how you need to change the configurations on the other boxes. SD-WAN, in a nutshell, the biggest fundamental change has been that the control plane is virtualized and unified in the cloud. And so you have that singular point from which, when you make a change, a configuration change, it gets passed down to all the routers simultaneously. Plus, you have that same single pane of glass. So we have the vSmart controllers. You can think of that as the brains. That's where the configuration is. We have vManage, it's the UI, and that's also where the APIs are, and that's where we interface with Live Action. And then vBond is for bring up. So now let me explain the solution. Yeah, okay. Yes, so here we have the same solution, and we have a full suite of APIs and information and metrics coming from the various different components. So we have alarms, notifications, logs, flow data. It's really comprehensive, but there's a lot of it. and it's all getting absorbed by Live Action here. And then also recently Live Action acquired Living Objects, which is Live SP. So the two products, Live NX and Live SP, we've done complete integrations, comprehensive integrations into both those products. I won't spend much time on this, but as I mentioned earlier, the product itself has been designed with the enterprise in mind. So all the different use cases that enterprise networks require and need are baked from the foundational level into the product. And we can talk about this later. Feel free to ask me questions later. But it's important to appreciate that with SD-WAN, Cisco SD-WAN, which is basically synonymous with Viptela, the product has been designed with the enterprise in mind. The other SD-WAN players out there, typically they're sort of commercial SMB type products in which they're trying to upgrade to an enterprise level product. Agile operations, and we have a complete comprehensive coverage. So this is one of the last slides. So one of the other things to keep in mind and be aware of is that we're actively porting our code and our features and functionality over to iOS XE, as I mentioned. So we have a July and November release. So we'll have support for ISR, ASR, and CSR platforms very shortly. Also, with the later generation ISR platforms, you'll be able to just simply upgrade the code and then run SD-WAN. The CSR and the vEdge Cloud platforms are going to be under the same product management team, so you're going to see a coordinated effort there. Also, the SD-WAN will become that basic WAN, Cisco WAN platform, and that Cisco WAN interface for the ISR, the ASR, the CSR, and of course vEdge Cloud. And then finally, we're doing a lot with SaaS and IaaS partners and providers, and so there's a lot of stuff that we currently do, but we're also building upon that, so it's very powerful. So finally, this is the final slide. So Live Action is an official partner. You can go to our webpage and they're listed right there. We have a complete comprehensive integration with both Live NX and Live SP. We've done the integration with our REST, SNMP, flow, log data. Everything has been tested and certified thoroughly. We have a very close and interactive partnership with these guys. It's excellent. And in general, it's just an excellent network management solution, and we have a ton of customers. And then finally, I just want to mention there's some excellent demos here on both sides. So if you're interested in any of these demos and to see SD-WAN in action with both Live SP and Live NX, please go check it out. So thank you very much.